Oh, hey, you guys.
Hola.
Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Here we go. We're gonna go real fast.
Dude, you got bars.
Hell yeah, bro. Hyped right now.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, everyone relax.
Yeah. All right. Come on. Let's get down to business.
Let me get rid of this wrapper.
Okay.
I want to put it right in my pocket.
Put it in your
Otherwise
pocket.
the cats are gonna eat it.
Put it in your pocket, and you're gonna sock it. You know. Don't even put it in your pocket unless you're gonna sock it in your rocket.
Exactly. That's precisely it.
Anyway, Sean.
Anyways, what's up, dude?
Welcome back to the podcast, dude.
Thanks, man. We missed another episode last week.
Yeah,
bro.
we sure did.
It's really upsetting.
Yep.
Everyone, we're very sorry.
This week's been crazy.
Yeah, it has been a pretty crazy week.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
What did we do?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
All we did was work.
That's true. We did nothing. Let's see. We were supposed to record on Monday. We didn't record on Monday.
Well, we were supposed to. Yeah, that's always.
Right.
I don't remember the last time we recorded on a Monday. That's why I texted you today and was like, let's just knock it out now.
Yeah.
I think Sundays are the better days for us because we're always home not doing anything. And then Mondays, we're always doing something, it feels like.
True. Mondays are off days. Why would we not do anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so true. April, stop looking up at the counter. So anyway.
April's got some bad intentions.
Yeah, she always does, dude. She hides it beneath those cute eyes. So y'all, let's see. What's the news this week, dude?
Dude, you know, I was thinking to myself the other day, what did we used to talk about on this podcast?
Well, for a long time, we just told people what we had been doing for the past 7 days.
But now we don't do anything.
Yeah, that is true. We used to
It's been
do
a
so
while
many
since.
things.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did something.
Yeah, now we never do something.
We're in that season where there's nothing to do.
It does feel like that.
You know,
It's hot.
it's way too hot.
The only thing we do is pool parties, and how many times can I tell people
We got too drunk.
we got
at a pool
too
party,
drunk in the pool?
and we did some. It got weird.
I got yelled at by my favorite security guard.
So yeah, it's been so hot.
Yeah, it's been grossly hot.
I remember we used to talk about like current events, but I don't know anything
No.
that's happening in society right now.
I think the thing about that is there's nothing happening in society because it's too hot.
You think that's the reason
society's
nothing's happening?
not doing anything? You know?
We didn't talk about gas prices, how they shot up, and now they're going down but still up.
Why did they go down? Or why did they go up? Also, did you know?
Is it because of Russia?
I think it's some shit that, maybe it had to do with Russia.
Russians have something to do with
But
it?
I think it more had to do with, I'm assuming by all the Joe Biden stickers on all the gas pumps that our government like changed something about the way stuff is taxed or some kind of tariff.
Tax?
You know, some kind of tax or tariff that made gas
On
prices
Russia?
go way up. Probably. We do.
An embargo,
I think
perhaps?
I think we do, or at least we used to get a good bit of our oil from Russia.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Something about I remember that the airline prices went up because jet fuel prices went up because I think we get a lot of jet fuel from Russia. All that to say, I feel so disconnected with society.
Yeah, me too.
I just live my life in my little bubble and I go about my little day.
Yeah.
And anything that doesn't immediately affect my day, I have no idea what's happening.
100% agree.
I honestly don't even know what's happening in my friends' lives either. It's weird.
I don't even have any friends anymore.
Honestly.
I just see you when we're at home or at work
Uh-huh.
and the cats.
Yeah.
And other than that, the only other human beings that I see are people who sit at the bar while I'm at work.
Uh-huh. But you're disconnected from them too.
Yeah, I don't look at them.
Yeah.
I just look at the floor and I'm like, what? But yeah, that's it. Other than that, the only people I ever see are very questionable real estate coaches on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
That's all I do now.
You see, is Gigi on there?
No, not yet.
No.
I bet he will be though.
What do they coach? What are they teaching you?
Oh man. Mostly they're like, just call people.
That's all they're saying.
That's not all they say. I mean, all of them are either like build a crazy good like social media presence and online presence that will bring business into you, or hit the books and start calling people.
What do you say on the phone? I have such anxiety when I call people.
You usually will say something along the line. I mean, it depends on like where you're getting these people's numbers from.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just doing like, I mean, there's like real legitimate cold calling where you're just like going down the pages of the phone book and calling every number in the city.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And you're like, are you selling a house?
Yeah.
Or are you interested in buying a house?
Basically.
Are you selling a house? Are you
you
interested in buying a house?
ham it up a little better than that, but basically that is what you're doing. And then there's like, I mean, there's a lot of websites that like generate leads. Like that's what Zillow is. That's how they make their money. And a lot of every other website like that, Redfin. And then you buy leads from them for like a flat rate per lead, or there's some of them that give you the leads for free and you only pay for it if you close a deal on it. So that's interesting. So if that's how you got the number, then I guess you have a little more to work off of there. You know they're somewhat interested. And then another big one is called circle prospecting, where like let's say you or anyone really sold a property recently. So you draw a circle around that property and you call every owner of the properties around it. And you're like, hey, just wanted to give you a call. House right down the street from you, such and such, whatever, Banana Street, just sold for this amount. Just want to see if you were looking to buy or maybe looking to sell or
around that amount.
So basically shit like that. And that's it really, dude.
Are you going to be a real estate agent?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But it's in my head I am already. But I think
technically anyone can be.
For sure. Yeah, anyone can be. Being a successful real estate agent is a different thing though. Did you know 87% of people who start real estate quit within the first 5 years?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's such a high number.
It's because the barrier to entry is so low.
That's fair.
And I think also
literally anybody can get there.
Anybody can do it. Yeah, as long as you're not like actually even if you are a felon, I'm not sure. But the big thing is I don't think most people, like I definitely had no idea that being successful in real estate was such it's a real chore for the first several years, you know, to build up like a sphere of influence is what they call it. Like a circle of.
It's kind of like being a Instagram model.
Basically. Yeah.
You have to build.
But instead of being hot on Instagram,
audience.
you have to just be informative about real estate.
Yeah.
And like likable and convincing.
That's really what I used to think real estate agents were. They're just people who you just look at him and you're like, oh, he's a nice dude.
Yeah.
There's no like hard skill in real estate.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's just
like
sales.
there's like knowledge you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to like present yourself a certain way, but it's really just like, do I trust this person when he's telling me that this house is okay?
Yeah. Well, it's that. And then the only other big one I would say is being knowledgeable about the market you're working in. Because that is like the thing that you're really going to use to set yourself apart, aside from just like how easy it is to like you, is like you have to be pretty familiar with like how the market is doing locally and maybe more broadly as well.
How does one learn about the market?
You keep track of statistics, which gives you like the broad strokes. And then when you drill down to like more area specific, like hyper local stuff, that's an easier way, especially if you're like let's say in Houston, you're trying to specialize and you're like, I'm the number one real estate agent in River Oaks. In that case, you probably
know everything about River Oaks.
You're going to know every single house that sells or lists in River Oaks. You're going to know every nook and cranny of the neighborhoods. You're going to know every business in the surrounding areas and stuff like that. And a lot of real estate agents also spend a lot of time like, well, I don't know if it's a lot of them, but some of them spend a lot of time doing like community outreach stuff and just trying to make their faces known in the communities that they're trying to work in.
There's a lot of, what is the word? Networking events?
Yes.
Just a lot of just networking.
Mm-hmm. It's all networking. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it, this one guy that I have been watching, April, don't do it. This one guy that I've been watching on YouTube, his name is Ricky Carruth. He is the number one Remax agent in Alabama for the last 8 years.
Number one.
This dude sells over 100 properties a year.
Really?
Yeah. And when I say
100?
properties, I'm talking about beachfront, $500,000+ condos.
Hundreds?
100 or more every year. So he's like
Literally one every 3 days.
so he's been in real estate since 2004, maybe earlier.
Uh-huh.
And he said he got into it when he was 21. Actually, maybe he got into it when he was 18.
Uh-huh.
Made his first million by 21.
Wow.
Lost it all and went bankrupt.
Lost it
at
all?
23.
How do you lose it all?
I don't know. And then later
Kind of
on,
gambling addiction.
I hope not.
Sounds like an Alabama thing.
And then later on, got back into it and
Mm-hmm.
made way more money, and now is still closing over 100 deals a deal, 100 deals a year. And the whole thing about it is, he is like an evangelist for circle prospecting. It's his only way that he generates leads. He never pays for leads. He never
So he just
door
sells,
knocks or anything.
He sells something.
And then he calls every condo owner in the building that he just sold a unit in, and he says, this is his exact pitch. He goes, "Hey, Mr. Robbins, Ricky Caruth here, Remax Orange Beach. I just want to give you a call. I got number 7 Phoenix Drive here. I see that you got number 4. We just had number 8 sell for $437,000, and I just want to see if there was anything in the world I could do for you." That's exactly what he says every time, right? And then, whatever they say, he has like a slick response for. Or if they're like, yeah, I'm actually not looking to sell. And he's like, okay, that's great. I actually wasn't looking to get you to sell or anything. I just want to see if there was anything at all I could help you with. And he always drills in on you're not calling to find out what you can't do for them. You're calling to find out what you can do for them. And even if it's not going to make you money, you still want to do it. You want to keep up with them. You want to be top of mind, as they call it, where they have you in their thoughts on a regular basis.
Very, very type A personality type, where he's planning, coordinating,
Yeah.
following up.
That's how, dude, following up is the metric of success in real estate. Because his whole point with that is you want to genuinely make yourself available and useful to them, even if they don't do any business with you for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Because in 10 years, when they finally do, they're going to come to you.
They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I remember that nice man
Mhm.
on the phone.
And it's think about, if you spend 60 to 90 seconds calling one person every month, every quarter of the year for 10 years,
Hey, can I help you with anything?
we're talking about
Is there anything I can get for you?
12 minutes a year at most, right?
Uh-huh.
Times 10 years. But then they end up listing their house with you or selling another house with you, and you make, in his case with the prices of the homes he's moving, he's making over $10,000 on a deal, on one deal. It's
worth
pretty good fucking payoff for
yeah. If you do
1
that with
minute of
enough
work at
people,
a time. And that's the whole game. You just
Enough.
talk to as many people as you can in a day.
Good old Southern hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
He's profiting off of our culture.
He sure is, dude. And he's like, yeah, when I was a boy out there, his accent's not that thick, but he definitely has an accent. And he talks about how, when he was a kid, he used to work with his dad as a roofer.
Uh-huh.
And then he got into real estate and all that. It's all interesting to learn about. But
Dude, that reminds me, years ago, I was on Amazon, not Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, and I somebody had posted on the UH room, need a roommate / tenant, that he could get this specific property at this price, and I was I messaged him and I was hey, I'm looking to get an apartment with a friend. Can you get us this price at this apartment? And obviously it was a marketing ploy. He was for the unit that they have available, it's actually closer to this, blah, blah, blah. And I was okay, bet. Well, that's kind of out of our pricing. But then he kept following up and he was but I have this property for you. This property for you. But you can look at this. And I kind of feel bad because he sent me so many things. And I toured 2 of the places he sent me, but I didn't end up going with any of them. But eventually I was hey, I'm just going to sign at this place. And he messaged me for a month straight. Oh, not every day, but every other day.
Yeah.
He was did you put my name down as a reference?
Mm.
Did you put my name? And to me, it felt like he was just trying to get money off of me.
Well, he is.
But I was
Especially if he didn't even send you that place.
Yeah, but I was like, I actually ended up blocking it.
Yeah. I mean, I would too if he texts me for a month asking if I put his name down in the reference box.
But maybe that's a lesson on how not to do it.
It is.
I literally
Yeah.
didn't even know who he was.
There's so many horror stories about real estate agents being like that or being really pushy and like, that's just not it, bro. Yeah, aggressive. Too aggressive. Way too aggressive. Really shouldn't be aggressive at all. No aggression is necessary.
Real estate's weird, man.
Ben, you look like a whole loaf of bread right now.
He's got these little hind quarter legs
I
right
know,
here.
dude. Got
Dude, I
them
went
things
to.
on him.
You ever been to a Mexican restaurant
No.
and ordered quail?
Definitely no.
I went to a Mexican restaurant the other day.
And you ordered quail?
And listen, bro. For the folks at home listening, I'm hella lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Like,
The
I-
only
like,
non-cheese
hella.
option they had was quail.
no, it wasn't the only non lactose option, but I saw it and I was like, I've never seen
I mean, quail is
a
delicious.
Mexican restaurant with quail. So I got the quail, and
Was it
they
good?
served it on like a fajita type platter. Like it was on a little stove with sizzling onions.
Okay.
And it had the whole quail. Laid out like a
Spread
rotisserie
eagle?
chicken,
Okay.
and it was okay. Honestly, it was just okay.
Was it expensive?
It's like $20.
Okay.
So for Mexican restaurant standards, yes.
Where'd you go?
Los Tios.
This one?
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
they have quail, and they serve it with beans, rice, and tortillas. And I was like, am I supposed to make a fajita out of this,
Sounds like it.
or like a little taco? Man, what are you doing?
Ben, can you do this over there so people can see you?
Oh man, we just vacuumed.
Can we just put that back on him? Ben, you
Ben,
drop this.
You dropped some of it. Yeah.
God, Ben, you're ruining everything.
But yeah, I just quail is just chicken. If anybody's curious at home,
It's just a very small chicken.
it's just
yeah.
a small chicken that tastes like chicken.
I think
All birds kind of taste the same, I'm assuming.
people appreciate. Yeah, I think you're right. I think people appreciate quail more for the sport of hunting them than for eating them. Not that they're not good to eat, but there's nothing special about it.
Do you think we used to hunt chickens for sport until we like domesticated them?
I mean, maybe, but I can't see it being that hard. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what the endurance looks like on a chicken.
Man, you're being weird today.
Ben is really, dude, he is in a mood for the
Yeah.
past like month. He's been so vocal, complaining about everything.
Literally everything.
He runs, dude. He has been doing this thing lately where like right before or as the sun comes up, he'll just start running.
You got the zoomies?
He's running at full speed, and sometimes he will, I don't know where the fuck he comes from, but he lands on my bed while I'm sleeping, like hard.
Like scares the shit out of you.
Scares the shit out of me. And dude, there's been a couple of times that he has bounced directly off of my genitalia to like leap somewhere. And I'm like, bro, I know you're not doing that on accident. You are jumping on my junk.
Jumping on my junk. Jumping on my junk.
And I think it might just be because about a month ago, maybe a little longer now, I switched them to a new food.
Do you think the food is causing them to do this?
Well, I'm not sure, but it would be a weird coincidence of the timing otherwise because nothing else has changed.
Yeah.
But they're just a lot more energetic and
There's
like
crack
rowdy.
in their food.
Yeah.
They just put cocaine
Yeah.
in their food.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of evil.
Yeah. And it also wouldn't even, I don't think eating cocaine gets you high. I think it just
true.
probably messes up your stomach.
It's different with cats, though. Dude, I read somewhere that oat milk fucks up your stomach.
Why though?
Something about like the oils can like cause knots in your stomach. It doesn't sit well in your stomach lining, things like that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Oat milk tastes too good to be good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben. Don't you fucking do it.
Ben, you're laying on a Rodecaster Pro. And now you're... Well, now you're freaking out.
Now you're freaking out, dude. Sorry, guys. For those at home who are just listening and have no idea what the fuck is happening,
Ben's having a moment.
Ben is on the podcast table. He's flip-flopping all over it. He's doing body slams onto our mixer.
Oh, now he's... Oh,
He's just in a rampage right now, dude.
Ben, do you have something to say?
Ben, say it with your chest.
Anyways, you know who Ben looks like right now?
Who?
I'm looking at his face.
Uh-huh.
Looks like Jordan.
Wow.
You ever look at Jordan's face and be like, you look just like Ben?
I look at Jordan's hair and I'm like, you look just like Ben.
It's the same color.
It's exactly the same color.
Yeah.
And similar attitude.
It's very similar attitude.
Yeah.
It's the green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the little button nose.
Yep. Jordan does have a little button nose.
Yeah. She looks like a cat.
Yeah. Kinda.
And then when she
looks like a lion.
Yeah. You ever seen a Lion King?
Or lioness. Yeah.
She looks like Nala.
Nala. Yeah. What a compliment.
Yeah.
Nala. Hottest animal in the kingdom.
Oh, I've seen hotter animals.
Okay. Not counting Lola Bunny.
Okay. Would you consider Ariel from Little Mermaid an animal?
No.
You sure?
100%. She's a person.
But she has a tail.
Only for part of it, though.
Yeah, but like that part of her animal, right?
Arguably.
Okay. Anyways, back to Nala and Jordan comparisons.
Uh-huh.
The only reason I bring that up is because I told Jordan I would talk about her on the podcast.
Oh, you did?
So it's the only way I could
Dude, you love
incorporate it.
You love making promises about the podcast.
Well, people love to ask me for stuff on the podcast.
That is true.
They're like, what do you talk about on the podcast?
Do you ever tell them?
My default answer is we talk shit about you.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
You know?
That's only true if you say it to Matt, though.
Yeah, because he's the only person we talk shit about.
Exactly. Although we haven't lately.
No. He's been a good boy.
Can't bring myself to do it anymore. I like him too much now.
He's been a good little boy.
Did you see the picture he posted on his Instagram?
Dude.
Looks jacked.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's fucking massive. Maybe it's to his detriment that he's so tall, because if he was short, he would be yoked.
He'd be absolutely.
Oh, that was too much. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, guys. We're just petting cats over here. Oh, that worked out well.
Nice, Ben. That's exactly where we wanted you.
Yeah, but
I mean, nice, Jordan.
Way.
That's exactly where.
Look that way, Jordan.
Jordan, look at the camera. Jordan.
Anyway, so what's happening now, dude? What's like the vibe? What's been going on?
Of life?
Yeah.
I don't know. Dude, I genuinely feel so disconnected.
Have you been watching
reality.
any real estate videos?
No, not even a single one.
Okay, I don't blame you.
I stopped looking at houses too.
Well, yeah.
I used to look at houses all the time.
Another thing I've realized about real estate since I started watching all these coaching videos is it's absolutely silly that we went to look at any houses before being pre-approved.
Yeah.
So that was goofy of us.
But I do like looking at houses.
Yeah, of course. It's the most fun thing ever. But
not
it's just
online. I'm talking about
window shopping. No, I know.
Yeah, like just going with someone and being like, let's look at this house.
Yeah, but it's only window shopping if you're not pre-approved.
Yeah, true.
Which is, you know, you could say it's fine, especially since we're doing it with Gigi, who's our good friend. But if we didn't know Gigi so well and he was just a real estate agent, that would be a real dick move.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't even show us a house until we.
Yeah, probably not.
It was like
it sounds like most real estate agents will only show you one or two before they're like,
so what's your
pre-approved, and then once you have your pre-approval, we'll go look.
Yeah, they're not wasting their own time.
Yeah.
The cool thing about real estate though is you do stuff whenever you want to do them. There's no like.
What do you have going on over there with that cable?
I don't know.
Do you hear that sound it's making?
It did. I think
I'm
it just
come over there and play with it later because mine never does anything like that, even if I touch it. Anyway, what were you saying? Oh, you do things on your own time?
Yeah, I have a friend who's an assistant to a pretty well-known real estate agent in the city of Houston. She like does Westview, River Oaks, like she sells high, expensive houses. She's actually a regular at Tiny's.
The assistant or the agent?
The agent.
Okay.
Her name's Caroline. She's this short little blonde girl with a very spunky and bright personality.
Okay.
I love her to death. She actually used to be one of my regulars. But I just found out recently that Josue, our friend, my friend, but he met you, is her assistant. And essentially, he just does everything she tells him to. But he gets a percentage of her commission.
Oh, nice.
And it's like, whoa. So if you're a really, really good real estate agent,
Uh-huh.
you could just get an assistant
Mm-hmm.
and only pay him. I think he actually has a salary.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
I think he's like guaranteed a thing. But then, depending on how well you do,
Mm-hmm.
you just pay him a little cut of the millions that you're making.
A lot of real estate agents don't even give their assistants a percentage. It's just a salary job. So that's nice that he gets that.
She's a sweet lady. So
Yeah. Also, if you do really well as an agent, you can start your own team.
your own team.
Or you can start your own team, dude. Which is still within your brokerage, but you start your own team. And every team is like structured a little bit differently, but essentially you ideally, you as the team leader set it up so that the team is covering the cost of like marketing, materials, people's like photography for their listings, all like the most of the costs associated with being a realtor, except for like memberships and stuff. And then you bring in realtors to work for you or with you on your team, and they kick back a cut of their commissions to you.
Sounds.
I mean, you also are supposed to provide like business for them.
Right.
Or ideally you do. Depending on how much of a cut you're taking, you provide more service to them.
Yeah, sounds like a little bit of a pyramid scheme.
It is. Real estate
But
is a pyramid scheme.
what I've
a
realized
little bit.
is all of business is a pyramid
Yeah,
scheme.
100%.
Everything is just funneling up
And it also gets
to the top.
so at least in Texas, the nature of the real estate agent industry, not real estate in general, but the real estate agent industry is kind of pyramid schemey because you have to work under a broker. And becoming a broker is kind of pyramid schemey itself.
Yeah, you have to
little
get
bit.
like sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Yeah,
to sell a certain amount of homes, I believe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then with certain brokerages, it's way more pyramid schemey. Like Keller Williams, which is the biggest real estate brokerage in the country, if not the world. And then EXP, who is another one that's getting really big really fast. They both have pretty deep multi-level marketing type things within them. Like they both have a thing where when you start with the brokerage, you have to name a real estate agent in that brokerage as your sponsor. And then for the rest of your career at that brokerage, they get a small cut of your,
The rest of your career?
as long as you're with that brokerage,
Oh.
which could be the rest of your career, especially with
Keller Williams.
Yeah, Keller or EXP, because Keller obviously has so much name draw, and I think they provide they're a great brokerage, obviously, or they wouldn't be that big. And then EXP, their whole thing is that their commission split is really aggressive, and they are really easy to work for, I guess. But yeah, there's a whole thing with both of them about like having other agents in your downline, they call it, where like any agents you bring in are paying up to you forever, and any agents they bring in are paying up to them and you forever.
Really?
It's like an what's the word? Not ancestry, but like a lineage.
Yeah.
And everyone under you and everyone under them forever and ever.
Like a family tree type thing.
Yes. So
It's like Amway Global.
it is, yeah. There's people who work, I don't think this is as much of a thing at Keller Williams, but at EXP, there are people who don't even really spend a lot of time trying to get people to buy or sell real estate with them. They're just recruiting for the company. And then everybody who they recruit enlist them as a sponsor they're making money off of. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. But it's genius like for those brokerages to do that because you're making it such a big draw for people to come work for you.
Whoever came up with that sort of like business model scale.
The mafia. It's got to be, right? It's the oldest business in the world, and they're really big on like,
Real estate?
you give me, no, the mafia. They're like, you give me the money you owe plus a little taste for me. And I'm going to take that money and go give it to my boss after I take out my cut. And he's going to give it to his boss after he takes out his cut. It's like typical gangster shit.
How does the mafia work? Where does money get created and funneled? Is it through drugs? It's through drugs, right?
I mean, it's through any crime that they profit from, but
shootings.
I mean, historically, a big part of it was the same way the government makes their money, which is like, hey, I'm protecting you, so you have to give me all this money that is just a number I make up, and if you don't,
That's true.
you're gonna get unprotected real hard by me. And then
What
people
came
are
first, the
scared.
mafia or the government?
Probably the mafia.
I think so.
I mean, at least in America, yeah, because the mafia predates the American government, I'm sure, by quite a way.
Yeah.
But, you know, organized crime in general, I don't know if that has existed since before the first government.
What do you think organized crime was back in like the prehistoric years? What were people stealing?
Just like people who live together and instead of like doing their own work, they would just steal from other people.
Yeah.
Like go steal someone's cow and you both would like, or everybody in your group would just live off of it. Shit like that. If you would even call that organized crime.
Would you ever get involved in organized crime?
I mean, no. But I really, really thought about it when I was a kid.
I've thought about it a lot.
I
too.
watched The Sopranos and I was like, dog.
I haven't even seen any shows like that, but I'm always like, dude, if an opportunity came to me where I was like, I just had to like drive people around here and there.
Oh, well, that's not. That's not it. That's not what organized crime is. That's just if your uncle is an organized crime and you're trying to get in and they're like, you're too young to kill someone, so we're just
Yeah.
going to make you drive for now.
Do you think organized crime now, like, there's initiations of like, you have to kill this person?
Only
do
in
you
the
think we've kinda-
uneducated ones. Having to kill someone to get in, I think, is a very like...
Prehistoric organized crime.
No, not even. I think it's like the only time I've ever heard of
Sorry.
of organized criminal organizations making you do that is like really like, what is the right word here? Really, really not good, like poverty gangs.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like the unsuccessful, not wealthy ones.
Like, not even just that, just like the uneducated ones. American gangs, really, not just American gangs, because that's obviously also a thing with like gangs from South America. But yeah, I don't know. But I've also never been in a gang, so I could be totally off on that. But yeah, I used to watch The Sopranos, and then again when I watched Sons of Anarchy, I was like, dog, I could 100 fucking % join a motorcycle gang. But I don't want to like beat people up and shoot people. I just want to ride the motorcycles around and look cool.
Peaky Blinders makes me want to join a little gang.
That's another one.
That's a good one.
But I think, well, maybe not unfortunately, but for better or for worse, I think the days of organized crime are maybe not completely over, but it's way different than it used to be.
Yeah. I think a lot of organized crime has like...
Organized crime now is like legal.
Yeah.
It's corporations and stuff that like it's lobbying.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to just be like, you would just beat someone up until they let you do what you want.
But now, like the real popular ones or the real good ones, quote unquote, they're like lawyers now who like represent people.
Represent corporations.
What is happening?
I don't know. Is it plugged in all the way in the mic?
Sure it is. Okay. I think it stopped.
Okay. We'll play with it
Well,
afterwards.
that one was this whole thing. Anyways,
So yeah, we should join a gang maybe.
we should make our own gang.
We start a gang. Did
I always
you
wanted to
know
start a gang?
I have started a gang before?
I have too.
Sick. Were
What
you in
was
middle
your
school?
gang? Yeah.
Nice, me too.
What was your initiation?
Oh, we didn't even have one.
Oh, lame.
What was
Fake
yours?
gang.
You had to beat someone up?
No, we branded ourselves with smiley faces.
I mean, actually, I guess, so I might have started 2 gangs. But the
Ooh.
second one wasn't a gang. It was like a...
What's it called?
It was a mafia.
Oh,
Yeah.
were you the Godfather?
No, there was no Godfather. But here's what we did. It just the dumbest thing. It's so stupid. I actually forgot about this until just now when you mentioned initiations. I must have been in like 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade. And it was 3 of us.
Uh huh.
We put on suits.
Same with my gang.
Hell yeah. We put on suits and we walked out of my neighborhood and across Westheimer. But like at the very end of Westheimer. It's not like the Westheimer
Like
that most people think of.
During the day?
Oh, middle of the day. Like in the summertime when we weren't in school.
Oh, okay.
We're in full suits.
In suits.
Walk across Westheimer, over the hill into a ditch.
In suits.
in suits, and now we're in this ditch, and we pull out a playing card and a lighter and a knife because supposedly, allegedly, there used to be this thing where when you joined a mafia or the mafia, an organized crime family of Italians, you would cut your hand and let it bleed onto this playing card, or maybe not a playing card, but like a card that was the patron saint of the family who you were joining.
Okay.
And then once your blood dripped on it, you would set it on fire and burn it. Whoa. And that is like your blood pact.
That's hardcore.
Super hardcore. So and probably demonic.
So you did that?
No. I think we were all too scared to cut our hands.
No. Now that's some pussy shit.
100%.
Because Sean, in my gang,
yeah,
we branded ourselves.
Branding yourself is way easier than cutting your hand open.
Well, yeah, not really.
Or maybe we did. I guess we ended up just like pricking ourselves on the finger.
You took a diabetes test?
I mean, yeah, we weren't going to like slice our palms open, dude. We were in 7th grade.
You had a suit on. You didn't get blood on your suit.
And immediately after we did this, we were going to walk back into my house where my mom was.
Yeah.
So, you know.
She's going to be like, what happened to
She's like, why are y'all wearing suits and you have a card?
What? No, because you burned the card.
Yeah.
So she's like, what happened to the cards?
Where did the card go?
I need to play poker tonight, Sean.
Where did the card and your slight amount of blood go? Why do you have less blood than when you left the house?
She's like, I'm tracking your blood always, Sean. Where is it?
She always had a tight handle on my blood count, dude. And then the other one that I started before that was even less of a, I mean, there was no initiation, and it realistically was just,
it's just a friendship.
It was just like all the white kids in my gym class who like didn't.
They wore hoodies.
No.
They cut holes in the hoodies.
No. This was a time in my middle school where every person belonged to some gang
Blood
that had no. Well, some of those, yeah, and those were the actually scary ones. But everyone else just joined these different gangs that were like being made every week, and they all had 3-letter names that stood for something. And so we made. I don't even know if I should even tell this story. It's just so embarrassing. We made this gang and we called it IFC.
Hell yeah.
Which was
Inter something Fraternal Council.
I wish that's what it was. Interracial Fraternal Council. No, it wasn't interracial because we were all white. We just called it was Irish Fight Club. But then none of us ever got into a fight.
But you're Irish. That's why.
Yeah, that is why.
What does IFC stand for? IFC is Inter something Fraternal Council. But that's what
Intramural?
No. Inter something Fraternal Council.
Okay. For frats?
Yeah.
That's
we would go to IFC meetings.
Okay.
So when you said IFC, I was like, you were a fraternity.
You're like, no, dude. I mean, I wasn't fraternity, dude.
All gangs are just fraternal.
That is true.
Any group of boys hanging out is fraternal.
Yeah, true. 100%, dude. That's the exact definition.
You just pay sometimes and sometimes you don't. So, you know.
Bro, the amount of money people pay to be in fraternities is mind-boggling.
Yeah. It's an investment into your future if you look at it a certain way.
If you're in the right frat.
Yeah.
But
if you're in the right school.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it, yeah. If you're in the right school. I don't think, if I'm going to U of H, actually I take that back. Even if you're at a school that's like the craziest, best school, whatever, still, why I'm already paying so much money to go to the school. Why am I paying to join a frat?
Because it's like a subdivision of a greater, it's like, what's the chances of you catching a fish in the ocean versus a small lake with the same amount of fish? It's you go to a small lake.
Yeah.
The same way.
But
you could go to a good college, but there's like so many people within that college.
Okay.
But then if you join a fraternity, you're in like a sub lake
division.
But
who's fishing in the fraternity?
You are. This is all job prospecting.
Fishing for
job prospecting.
Okay.
Is what I was.
So you're saying you have better prospects with other people who were in your frat when it comes to job marketing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you meet somebody in your fraternity who has
a drinking problem,
a rich family.
Yeah.
And they put you on through that connection. That's usually how it goes. It's all just a
Yeah, but that would be so much cooler if it was just like based on getting into the frat because you're like cool and not because you pay for it.
I mean, you don't automatically get into a fraternity.
No, I know, but I just don't want to pay for it is my
Yeah.
main thing. Because also, if it was like
but
$100 a quarter, I'd be like, yeah, bet. Like someone has to cover the
Yeah.
light bill and stuff, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of things.
Do you think you got your money's worth?
You I don't know. I'm Asian. It's hard to ask me stuff like that.
No, you're the one to ask.
It's hard to ask me stuff like that. I did enjoy my time in the fraternity, and I saw, especially when I was on the board, I saw where the money was going.
Where was it going?
Events like rush events, brotherhood events, parties. Like we did stuff.
Okay.
The opportunity to get stuff done was there. Whether or not people showed up for them is usually what happens when people are like, "Oh, it wasn't worth it. I paid all this stuff," but they just didn't show up to the events that were put on.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. How many members are there in your fraternity?
When I was there, it was like 42 or something like that.
42 people. And your dues were?
Anywhere from 600 to 650 a semester.
Oh, a semester. Okay. I thought it was a month.
You could split it up monthly, but like
I thought it was like
would be-
600 a month.
No,
Is what I mean though.
it's a semester.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
some colleges, I mean, bro, if you go to like UT or like a big SEC school,
Uh-huh.
their fraternity dues are like 1,500 a semester. Wow. But they're obviously, like I said,
They're doing more.
doing a lot more.
Yeah.
They're traveling.
So your fraternity was bringing in roughly $25,000 a semester just in dues. I don't know if there's any other way that a fraternity brings in money.
That's the only way, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like
And then the thing is, a cut of that goes to the fraternity, like
what is that?
nationals, essentially.
So
We're a local chapter, and nationals is like the overarching bodies that oversee all fraternity, like all of Alpha Sigs throughout all colleges.
And why do they need money?
kind of like a mafia type.
Is there any like oversight about like or like questioning of where that money goes and what it's for? Because if y'all pay 25 grand in dues and
So-
then they're like, all right, y'all have $10 to run events.
a percentage of our dues went to this thing called Clevin, which I think they actually changed the name of it midway through, so I don't know what it's called anymore. But that was like the housing bank account of our fraternity. So if we ever needed like furniture or like we needed to pay for anything with the house, we would go through Clevin. But there's a lot of like weird rules of like you can only it's a lot like insurance. You can only dip into it if you've paid a certain amount or if you're in good standing, depending on what the chapter sees, and also like if you need to have this many members at a time in order to access it. There's a lot of like little rules.
Okay.
But a percentage of our dues go into like the housing corporation for Alpha Sig. There are national dues. I don't know what those go towards though, honestly.
Yeah. So what is the deal with a fraternity house?
Well, at U
Does
of
every
H,
fraternity have one house? Or is a fraternity house just any house that is lived in by fraternity brothers?
technically a fraternity house is a house that's paid by the fraternity.
Right.
But currently at Alpha Sig, there's a house that like 4 brothers live at that is considered the frat house.
It's being treated like the frat
It's
house.
being treated like the frat house, but there's no affiliation with Alpha Sigma Phi. Like
So
they
they're
don't.
paying for that house out of pocket and it's still getting used for Alpha Sig events? That seems like a raw deal.
Yeah, it wouldn't be me, dude. If I wouldn't want to have my house as like a fraternity house.
No, not if I'm paying for it like a regular house.
But when we lived at Bayou, there was, I mean, the thing with U of H and Bayou Oaks is it's like on campus housing.
Mm-hmm.
So each person still had to pay the campus to live there. But
So then how is it funded by the frat?
so the furniture was funded by the fraternity. Like all of our furniture was used by our Clevin organization. And that was it.
So you're telling me that you paid $600 a quarter or a semester
Uh-huh.
to rent furniture.
No.
Oh.
Buy the furniture, but not all that. I said just a percentage of that. goes
Okay.
into
Yeah, yeah,
Pleven.
yeah. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
It's real weird. I mean, in a quote unquote normal college with a normal Greek life, my guess is the fraternity buys a house.
Mm-hmm.
You live in that house,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't pay for it because
That would
you
be
have
nice.
Pleven
Yeah.
to pay for it. Maybe you're paying some of it, but you're not like paying $1,100 a semester to
But
live
that-
on campus.
I mean, I'm assuming when we say house, we mean like a house.
Yeah.
But if you have 40 members, like let's say, like
So it
how does that
depends on-
work?
So it depends on how rich the chapter is.
Okay.
And also, not everyone lives at that house.
Not everyone has the opportunity even to live at the house,
Yeah.
it sounds like. How do you get in on the house?
I'm sure you just ask. You're like, hey, can I live at the house? And they're like, yeah.
And they're like,
Bobby-
yeah, if you scrub my feet, loser.
Yeah, Bobby's leaving next semester. You could take his spot. For us, it was people didn't want to live at the house.
Yeah.
So we would do like a raffle system.
To make people live at the house.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That seems
But
better.
people didn't want to live at the house because it was at Bayou. And Bayou was just garbage.
Yeah.
If it was
Why
like
would
an
I do
actual
it if I
house-
had to pay for it? That's my big, like, the only real dilemma I see with it is like, I would totally see it if I didn't have to pay for it. Or if it was great housing and I did have to pay, then I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But
Well, some really, really successful rich fraternities have the nicest frat houses.
yeah.
There's a whole YouTube page of like frat house tours.
Mm.
And like FSU PICAPs have like essentially a mansion, like a compound mansion
Really?
where like there's like a house and it's like an apartment complex almost. It's
Okay.
a house that is like a U-shaped, and inside this little complex there's like a gym, like a field where they can throw events, and like another
Dude,
thing.
Hell yeah. It's like
and-
the Professor X Academy. What is it called? X-Men Academy. I don't know what it's called.
something like that. But yeah, it's like that's a very old and successful chapter. It has a lot of members, and it's also in Florida. So
What
people
makes a
pay lot.
chapter successful?
I think honestly, it's like lineage, like how long it's been around.
Okay.
Because the longer it's been around, the more alumni it has to donate, and eventually some alumni are going to become really rich and donate more. Here and
Yeah,
there.
that's true. That's true.
At Alpha Sig, we were obviously a new chapter.
Yeah.
So we struggled with a lot of like money stuff.
Mhm.
But now they're in a good spot, and we have an alumni association where they're trying to pitch this thing where like the alumni association, you like pay dues as an alumni,
Mm-hmm.
but that just goes into a bank account where it's like emergency funding money, or just like money that we can give to the fraternity whenever
Yeah.
they need it for a certain thing.
Yeah.
But it's a lot less, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think there's a limit on how much you can, but there's a minimum.
Mhm.
It's like $200 for a semester. But I was like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I would probably donate money to the fraternity though if I became rich,
Yeah.
just because I'd be like, I remember when I was a wee lad like you.
Yeah.
And I was also a founding father, so it's like
That's true
it,
too.
it has a little bit more
It's a
ties with
little
me.
bigger thing for you. Yeah. I would definitely, if I put myself in your shoes, I would definitely imagine liking the idea of donating. Although I think I would rather, as opposed to just like putting money into a fund that somebody in the organization gets to decide what it gets used for, I'd like to be like, I'm going to donate whatever amount, $1,000, $10,000, with the like stipulation that it's specifically to be used for
Yeah.
X, whatever it is that I want to give money to. Or if you trust the leadership, then you can just let them do whatever they want with it. Well, that's all
Yeah.
cool.
It's interesting. Being a fraternity is interesting. It's like a pregame for like in the business world. That's why I think if you're a business major, you should 100% join Greek life.
Yeah.
Like the way that like meetings are set up, you have to learn how to like work with other people. You have to learn how to like throw events.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to like mingle with different organizations.
Sales training.
It very much is sales training. So I learned a lot of skills in the fraternity, being on the board for 2 of the 4 years or 3 years I was there.
Nice.
And it's honestly a really fun time. Went to a lot of parties, drank a lot, met a lot of cool guys.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're like 19, 20,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody out there getting ready to go to college? If you're
Sure,
already
for
in
sure.
college?
I tell every single person who I have the opportunity to that is in high school, that's a dude, that's like a cool dude. I'm like, dude, you need to join a fraternity.
Yeah,
100%.
for
It's
sure.
always worth it.
I co-sign that advice.
Join a fraternity.
Yeah. And if you're too old to join a fraternity, just pretend you were in one, dude. It's fine. Just pick one with a cool sounding name. And
I don't know. It's actually not looked down upon, at least not at U of H. It was how old you were to rush. We rushed this dude who was an incoming freshman, but he started school late. He was like 26 years old. And he rushed us and he joined us. And he was pretty cool.
interesting.
He was 26 as a freshman.
26 doesn't even sound that old to me, but I guess that's just because I didn't go to college, so I forget how young everyone there really is. I have read that it is quite silly to join a frat if you're like old.
Yeah, well, it's hard to like bond
Yeah.
with your like members in the same
Yeah,
class because they're all probably 18, 19.
Or imagine like, you know, if you're 26 like that guy or maybe even older, whatever age, and you like are a freshman and you rush this fraternity and join, and like the people running the chapter are 20.
21.
Yeah. And they're telling you what to do and you're 5 years older than them and you're like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
You're so wrong.
Yeah, that's also a thing.
That's also a big thing that I've read a lot about people joining the military later in life is like you go to boot camp and you
It's like a 25
you get through it, and then you hit the fleet, which is like the rest of the military, and your boss is a 20-year-old and he's like telling you what to do, and he's like, don't talk to me like that, and you're like 30. And it's like, this is the stupidest shit in the world, bro.
Yeah. Also, we make it a point for like the new members to meet the sorority new members.
Mm-hmm.
So like a 26-year-old meeting like 18-year-old girls.
Yeah
And mingling with them. That's also like
weird. Yeah,
just leaves a weird little.
it's a strange little thing.
It's
Yeah,
a strange little thing.
dude, I had when I lived in San Antonio, I lived with a roommate who was actually like my landlord because it was his house.
Mm-hmm.
But I was renting a room in his place, and we were cool. And he was a cheerleader at UT,
Oh, I remember you talking about this guy.
and I told him he was a cool guy. Well, he was kind of cool. Anyway, when I told him that I was gonna quit my job and move back to Houston, I told him I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm gonna move back to Houston. I'm gonna go to school for whatever the fuck I was gonna go to school for at that time."
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know if we were talking about. I don't know what we were talking about. I guess just about going back to school in general. And he was like, "Yeah, man, just wait. Once you get to school, all these hot young freshmen walking around, and they have no idea what the fuck is going on, and you're like." Essentially, what he was saying is like you're easily able to hook up with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I'm like, at the time I was like 27, 26 or 27. And he was like, and I said, yeah, but I'm like 10 years older than them. That's like a little weird.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, no, the fuck it's not. And I was like, okay, man, sure. Whatever you say, bro.
I mean, he's not wrong. I think
I don't think he's wrong, but I think there's
the way
it's
that
a, there's a
the tone
little
in which you
room
said
for
it.
interpretation.
The tone in which he said it made
Yeah,
it sound
yeah.
wrong. That's fair. Yeah, I struggle with that sometimes too. It's like, oh, I have to really be careful with what I'm about to say here. But I, as a 25-year-old man who has been through a few relationships, I've had my fun. I feel like I could easily get any like young 19, 20-year-old girl and like sleep with them. Like, I don't think it would take much effort.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. Because the bigger the age gap, the less effort it takes.
Yeah. And that's
what
such
makes it a problem. Once you get to a certain age gap, it's like, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. Like, it's not necessarily cool that you're, I mean, I don't want to say like manipulating, but
yeah, that's what I
it's
was
in
going to
that
say.
channel.
It's a synonym
yeah.
of manipulation.
Yeah. It's very, you're
But
rubbing up against it.
But it's really just, you just re-experiencing what you were experiencing when you were that age. But now you were just looking at it from a lens of, oh, I know what to do now because when I was that age.
Yeah.
It wasn't working then.
Exactly.
And I learned.
Yeah. You're like,
It's
I
a-
read all the Reddit threads about this. I know exactly what to do now.
So it's a weird thing. And then there's always that thing of like, women want older guys because they're more mature. And that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like an 18-year-old girl and an 18-year-old guy, like the dude is a fuck.
Yeah.
At 18 years old, you're a fuck. Like,
So
you're
true,
just a-
bro.
So
How does
the
anyone
18-year-old
ever date an 18-year-old man?
So an 18-year-old girl sees an 18-year-old guy or a 24-year-old guy, and they're like, "Oh, the
Yeah.
24-year-old guy
Yeah.
is much better."
Obviously. Especially because when you're the older person in this hypothetical, it's very obvious to you the age gap.
Uh-huh.
But when you're the younger person,
You're like, oh,
you
I'm-
don't think there's an age gap,
You're
or
like,
you
oh,
don't think it matters.
Uh-huh.
And you're like,
or you think you're like, "Oh, I'm mature." Like,
yeah. And
I
meanwhile,
can hold my
the
own.
other person who is older than them is like, you are an idiot. I like you and you're cool,
Uh-huh.
but I can see everything you're thinking through your skull. You're so dumb. So, it's kind of.
And that brings us back to Jordan. Shout out to you.
Yeah, what's up, Jordan?
This episode's for you, girl. You texted me and you were like, "Talk about me on the podcast." So this is
We talked about you this whole time, dude.
check.
Hell yeah. Is Jordan in college?
Yeah, she's at U of H.
Dude, is she a freshman?
No, she's sophomore, junior. She's 20.
Too late.
She's 20.
I was going to hit her up, but
She's learned too much.
she's gone too far, dude. I can't. There's no saving it. Oh, sorry, Jordan.
Sorry, it's all great.
Anyway.
Anyways,
That
go
was
to college.
Yeah, go to
frat.
college.
Sleep with younger women of age, though, please, and
Yeah.
do it consensually.
Or of
literally.
women of your age also is cool.
Yeah.
But actually do sleep with older women also.
Yeah.
Because
sleep with any women
I
that
guess
will
I've
sleep
never-
with you.
have you ever been with an
consensually.
older woman?
No.
Me neither.
Not
Yeah, no, I
considerably
haven't.
older.
No, I
Like
haven't.
a year or two.
I don't think I've ever. Yeah, no, I haven't.
But I've never been with like a woman 5 or more years older than me.
Let's do that.
How?
I mean, we just go out
That's true.
and find a woman who's older than us, and we're like, we look at them, we like slant. The look you give someone where, I'm trying to describe it for people who aren't watching.
Like tilt down.
You tilt your head forward and you look at them, and
Yeah.
you cock your eyebrows up like, what's up, dude? What are you doing? And then they come over, and then we don't say a word, and we just walk out to the
Yeah,
car,
it's
and they
really
come with us, and then we go
Oh. Sounds like a movie.
to Whataburger.
Whataburger was good.
I believe it.
It was real good. I feel heavy.
Yeah. You look light.
Trying to get heavy, dude. I'm really trying to bulk.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best.
Are you in the gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was there twice this past week. Twice, but I went to yoga too, so that's 3 active days. It should be like 4 or 5. But
When you say you're trying to bulk, are you trying to put on more muscle, or you just
Yeah.
want to look thicker?
I want to look thicker. Sorry.
So are you okay with just putting on a little more fat, or do you want to put on more muscle?
I'd like for it to be muscle.
Then you got to go more than twice a week, brother.
Yeah.
You got to go. I would say 3 times a week minimum. Well,
Does yoga count?
no. I mean, for fitness, yeah, but for getting bigger, I don't think so.
I'm back on my strength training program. It's a little more structured.
You're on a program? That is so. I was just about to tell you to get on a program, but I was like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I'm glad to hear that.
I need to stay on top of the program in terms of like making sure that I'm upping the weight
You have
when
to.
it's appropriate.
You have to write it down.
Yeah, that's true. You're actually
That's
so
the
right.
number one thing, bro.
You're actually so right.
And then I used to do this thing where I would hit a weight, like whatever weight I was working. I would start at the bottom of my, like, let's say I'm aiming to do somewhere between 5 and 8 reps for every set. I would start that weight at 5 reps a set. And then the next session I would do like 6 or 7. And then ideally the next one I would do 8. And then I would move up and weight again.
Yeah.
Now I've switched to, I just hit a weight and I do 5 reps. And if I hit it, then the next time I'm going to move up and weight again. And I keep doing that until I can't anymore. And then once I can't anymore, that's when I start increasing reps.
Wow. Okay.
And I've seen so much progress from doing that. My squat and all of my big 3 are at the highest they've ever been.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the TRT, baby.
Well,
Just kidding.
Unfortunately, I haven't really been lifting since I started the TRT because
Yeah.
I hurt my fucking neck one weekend. But luckily, I think I'm ready to go back starting next week. I hit legs today and it was nice. So
Nice.
we'll ease our way back into it.
Oh yeah, baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, dude,
Anyways, dude, do you have anything else you want to talk to about?
this has
with the
been
people at home?
great. This has been fantastic.
This is our triumphant return.
yeah. Welcome
something
back to
like
the
that.
pod.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone.
Here we are talking about young women.
Yeah, we should. Why did we do that?
I don't know.
All right, well, for everyone listening at home, just ignore everything we said about young women. That's weird. You know? We're not here to talk about young women. We're here to talk about young men. And that's us.
The Young Men's Christian Association.
Yeah. That's us, bro. YMCA.
YMCMB.
Yeah. Young Men's Christian Man Bun. So, I think that's all we got for you this week. I'm going to go for a little walk.
Oh, you are?
I think I am's going to go watch some Valorant videos or play some Valorant.
Or play some Valorant, yeah.
And
That's
the
on the
cats
agenda.
are going to continue to...
I'm going to take some melatonin later and pass the fuck
Ooh.
out.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
Nice.
Really need to catch up on this sleep.
Excellent. All right, cool. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks. And bye. Peace.